Hello artists, and Mrs. Castle here. We are going to talk about cylinders, and we're going to use this photo as our reference, and it's kind of a drawing, but it uses a lot of cross hatching, but we're going to use it as our reference, and this will be pretty good because it's already a drawing, so we can see a bunch of the shadows, and we've got terms for that we can use as a common reference. So this one I'm going to actually, oops. This can't do that. Okay, so once you put your reference down, you can't move it. So learn from my mistake. Okay, so I'm going to use one of my light pencils, and I'm going to draw. Okay, we all know that cylinders are round, but the top of the cylinder, let's use red. The top of the cylinder is not a, oops, let's do this. I'm going to put this underneath. Okay, so I'm going to make this more like a pen. Okay, this is an ellipse right here where I'm tracing around in red. If this were, we know in our heads that the top of a cylinder and the bottom of the cylinder is a circle. If this were a circle, or if it is a circle, but because of the angle that we're looking, it looks like an ellipse or an oval. If it were a circle, oops, that's not a good circle. It would look like that, and sides would come down, and the bottom would look like that. And that is not really a cylinder. So we got to go with what our eyes see rather than what our head knows. Okay? So let's go back to black and my F pencil. So I'm going to try to get my ellipse symmetrical, and that's probably the trickiest part of drawing your cylinder. Then let's see, eraser. I'm gonna make my eraser pretty, too small. I'm gonna erase trying to erase in the wrong layer. That's the problem. I'm going to erase the parts that I don't want so we can see what we're doing. Part of this is in this layer. Okay, so we're going to go back to this layer. All right, so my next step is the sides, and you can see in the drawing that the sides come down. The sides come down from the very farthest. Sorry, that was my dogs. They're fighting over playing and trying to get the same thing. But I want to come down from the corner Vico, stop it. I'm going to come down from the very farthest end of the, the farthest opposite ends of the ellipse. Sorry, dog's having me distracted. So that's what I'm going to do in this layer. I'm going to come straight down from the edge of, from the farthest opposite ends of my ellipse. And then I'm going to try to make the bottom even, or about the same length. And then I'm going to make half of the ellipse on the bottom. We know it sits flat, but we're not looking underneath at the bottom. We're looking at the roundness of the can or bottle or jar or whatever it is that has a basic sphere shape. So, okay, now we're ready to start doing the shading. Except, let's put in a table. There's a table in the drawing, and it's this one is going at a diagonal. Diagonals are always interesting and create action. So I'm going to use my ruler tool to draw a line to be the table. Oops. I've moved my paper rather than my ruler. Okay. All right, next, let's go to my R2B pencil. Now I'm going to start on my darkest part of my cast shadow, not cast shadow, my core shadow on my cylinder, which is right here. I'm going to start at the darkest part, and it's about a third of the way over. Oops, I'm going to make my lead bigger, and you can go up and down on a cylinder, and I'll do that in a minute. Actually, I'll do that now. I'm going to go up and down. Make my lead a little bigger. With my, with some shadow, and then like I did on the sphere, I'm going to kind of shade with the curve. If I shade it flat across like that, it's going to ruin the roundness that we're trying to reproduce by using lights and shadows on our digital piece of paper to create an illusion, which is one of the cool things about art. If I come over to the left-hand side, it's brighter. I have my lightest light about a third of the way over, and then I have some dark over here in the mid-tone area. So I've got my darkest core shadow, and then mid-tones on this side, mid-tones on this side, and mid-tones here on the farthest side. So I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to continue making my direction of shading is almost a diagonal. I'm going to add some more over here. I don't want to go too far over because I'll ruin my lightest light. And I'm going to put some more mid-tone here. Okay. And there's a little bit of shading. This side looks really light because my darkest shadow is right here. So up here it looks light. I've got some mid-tone over here and a little and very, very light on that side. I'm going to include that because it all depends on what's next to it. There. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do some of my dark shadow. There's a little bit of shadow immediately underneath the whole bottom edge of my cylinder. I'm going to bring my pencil size down. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more so I can kind of get a nice dark under there. Okay, and I'm going to bring my shadow comes out this way, and another little sketchbook trick. I'm going to click there, and my menus are going to get out of my way a little bit. And the top of my shadow is going to be rounded. And then I can turn that back on for a minute. And I've got, this is all cast shadow, but it's going to be dark close to my cylinder and light farther away. So I'm going to start layering up some darkness. And with this, with the shadow, it's flat on the surface, so it doesn't have to be shaded to follow the shape. And it's going to lighten up the farther away it gets from my actual cylinder. I'm going to get my menus out of my way again. So I'm going to leave that a little bit on the lighter side, and I'm going to shade darker down here and let it fade, kind of fade it out like a gradation. Okay. Straighten that up a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to turn my menu back on, and I am going to go to my library. I'm going to go down here to my colorless blenders, and let's try the soft flat brush right now. I'm going to use, go back, let's go to the settings. I'm going to turn down the strength and the flow. So we don't get too carried away. I'm going to blend to smooth out I notice if I start on this side, it's going to make a hard edge, or like right there. But if I go from the dark out, it doesn't have that hard edge anymore. So I'm finding out that it makes a difference which way you bring your blending. And actually, I just observed that my shadow is dark up towards the top, so I'm going to have to add some more of my pencil. And my dark is kind of fading out since I'm blending it. gonna smudge this way. I'm going up and down now. And that's helping to blend everywhere I want to blend. Okay, let's try that eraser. I'm gonna use my eraser to pull out that light again. Let's go back to the 2B pencil, and I'm going to add some more shading up here, and some more down the middle of my core shadow. I have to plug in here in a second. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go forward and plug in. And